Janice wants to know, do you have supplements to lower blood pressure?
Broad answer is yes.
Good. Moving on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So, but individually, as you know, I feel like a broken record sometimes whenever we say this, but more information. Is she on medications?
Sure.
Those kind of things. What medications is she on, et cetera. So, obviously knowing that we're not going to have access to that, we'll just kind of go over maybe a little more broadly. Because the ideal time, to get somebody essentially, and we say this in the pharmacy all the time, is like right before you're going to start. So you say, hey, I went to my doctor. It's my second time this year and he's nudging me to take this med and he's telling me lisinopril and what should I do?
Right.
In those situations, number one, the priority is certainly to get the blood pressure down.
Right.
But at that point, you do have a lot of options, I believe.
So you're saying before medication has been
yes.
begun.
Because then we have other people come in and they're on 3 different classes of blood pressure meds.
Right.
And they ask, do you have anything for blood pressure? And then I can't look them in the eye and tell them yes,
right,
without telling them that they're asking about a little hammer whenever they're already have a couple sledgehammers.
Got
you know
it.
what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the key thing. But the most foundational recommendation would be magnesium.
Yep.
It's a mild, natural calcium channel blocker. That's just a fancy way of saying has some similar action as to a class of medications that are used for high blood pressure. Only real issue, side effect you'll see with it is loose stool. So if that does occur, especially initially, you just kind of drop the dose a little bit. But if you're using it for blood pressure, would like to see you get up to 2 or 3 of our capsules twice a day.
And it's the Mag Essentials?
The Mag Essentials, yes. And the reason for the Mag Essentials specifically is that it has multiple forms of magnesium.
Cool.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure that your body can absorb the magnesium via different pathways. So we've got malate, citrate, lysine, glycinate. So your body can utilize different pathways to get the magnesium in. Whenever you take just a regular old, like off the shelf magnesium oxide, you're getting a little bit of a laxative effect. You're only using one pathway.
Right.
And that's kind of where the issue can come in.
Okay.
So the Mag Essentials would be the most foundational thing to recommend. And with something like this too, it's like fish oil or probiotics. When somebody asks me or I'm talking about a given supplement for one specific issue, but it's a supplement that can do so many things, I feel remiss not at least mentioning that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about magnesium. It's involved in 300 enzyme reactions in the body.
Yeah.
So it's involved in so many different things. It can help you with relaxation during the day, sleep at night, bone health, stress and anxiety, muscle cramping, all those things. Because honestly, magnesium deficiency is just very common.
Yeah.
Nowadays, alcohol use, caffeine use, coffee itself being acidic, processed foods, sugar, all of those delete magnesium stores, not to mention medications, PPIs, metformin, et cetera, that are all going to deplete it too. So as a society in general, we've got a high need for it. And sometimes, I'm not saying that's the cause of high blood pressure, but in certain individuals and in a global sense, can definitely be a contributor.
Okay. So start with Mag Essentials.
Yes.
Anything else that should be considered?
Yeah, there's still a handful here, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, next in line would be CoQ10.
Yep.
If you're using it for blood pressure, I would do 200 milligrams, or you could do the CoQ10 Advanced. Ideally, it's in 100 milligram.
Okay.
But it's a better form. It's got a precursor in it, the triple G as well. So CoQ10, again, you're going to get other benefits. It's an amazing antioxidant, really good for the kidneys, et cetera. It's got a lot of other benefits, good for the mitochondria, muscle producing engine of the cell.
Mm-hmm.
So more specifically, if you're looking for something that's just directly for blood pressure, a little more of a heavy hitter, would be a product called Citranos. But really what it is, it's L-citrulline is the main ingredient, along with a patented form of a grapeseed extract.
Okay.
So the L-citrulline is essentially functioning like a precursor to L-arginine. We'll get a lot of questions or people really hear about, and there's a little overlap here with ED.
Okay.
Because of the way what you're trying to do when you lower blood pressure is to relax the
blood vessels.
Yes. So there's some
Got it.
overlap here in terms of maybe if you're looking at the website, you're looking up the ingredient. You said, hey, I'm looking for blood pressure wise. It's
Right.
popping. All right. So that could be a side benefit as well. But yeah, so L-arginine, great. In theory, body passes it very quickly, very short acting. Liver doesn't allow large amounts to pass through the body either. So it's very self-limiting. L-citrulline, though, gets around that. Got to take 2 twice a day. You know, recommend 3 grams. So it's a lot in that regard. And then the patented grapeseed extract as well is going to help with lowering blood pressure. So the other thing too, both of these, they also have shown to not just, as critical as it is, just lower your blood pressure, but it also is involved in endothelial function. So basically that's like the inner lining of your arteries.
Okay.
And they found that in when you're talking about endothelial dysfunction itself, you're talking about the coronary arteries. It's not going to obstruct, but it can narrow via the lining, endothelium constricting.
Okay.
So those things have all been seen, you know, in use with these products whenever because they're raising nitric oxide. That would be the key thing I've got to mention there is the mechanism. So 2 twice a day if you're going to do it. Again, can be used for ED as well. And then secondarily, kind of going in order of kind of recommendation would be blood pressure support. It's another combo product. It does have magnesium in it. So if it ends up being that you're going to do magnesium and blood pressure support, just be aware, cut the magnesium like in half, depending on what you're doing. I'd cut it about in half. So magnesium, taurine, hawthorn. We've been using this product for years. Recommend 3 a day though. Again, you've got to get all those ingredients in.
Right.
So 3 a day. But yeah, we've had great success with that over the years. It's just kind of, there's the newer things have come out, like that citranos thing I mentioned. That would be from a specific blood pressure standpoint where I would go first. Yeah, last thing, Core IR. It's a little more broad. So if you're dealing with more of a metabolic syndrome type, you've got a little bit of high blood pressure, got a little bit of high cholesterol going on, so your numbers are off. You know, some weight issues. Core IR, which main ingredient is berberine, can be used kind of as not a catch-all. You've got a lot to do there, but helps with blood sugar and with lipids and with blood pressure.
Okay.
So it's great from that standpoint if you're dealing with a little more than just some high blood pressure.
Just one thing.
And then of course, weight, diet, exercise.
Yep.
That's always the boring answer nobody wants to give, but is critical with high blood pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's critical with so many things. Yeah. But, and you were just saying all of that is understanding you're not already on blood pressure medication. If you're already on blood pressure medication, it requires a much more specific conversation.
Exactly.
And we got to take it slower.
Yes.